Hey, howdy, hello there everyone, a Pillow here once again with a brand new Pillow Talk. Now, before we get into this talk about Overwatch 2 and why it's going to be a dumpster fire, I'm just going to go ahead and say something. If you want to see me cover any particular topic in the future, make sure to leave that in the comment section. I have plenty of things that I do want to cover, but I want the viewers to get what they want first, and the only way you can do that is by telling me what you want to see. So go ahead, say it in the description or comment section, which is where you would say it, if you want me to cover anything in particular, and I'll get around to it. With that being said, I'm here to talk about today why Blizzard's brand new Overwatch 2 video game is going to be an absolute dumpster fire. But before we even get into that, we have to discuss why Overwatch 1, towards the end of its lifespan, was so horrible. Overwatch 1 was a game that I sunk many hours of my life into. I was an absolute Overwatch degenerate. I was a Mercy and D.Va main, and I was proud about it. But as time went along, I became less satisfied with Overwatch. The character changes of my main Mercy made me end up having to switch to D.Va as a Mercy refugee. It was horrible, it was horrific. I didn't like that I had to do that, but you know what? I was willing to tough it out because I still had some fun in the game. Over time though, the game became so horrifically unbalanced. A new hero would be added, and that hero would toss off the entire meta, and then they had to be nerfed, either to unplayability or to still being slightly overpowered, but being able to be fought by characters that were also a little overpowered themselves. The fact of the matter is, as time went on, the characters became so increasingly unbalanced because Blizzard was just horrible at trying to keep the game alive. And we see this in its player numbers, we see this in its Twitch statistics. No one wanted to play Overwatch anymore, no one wanted to watch Overwatch anymore. It was just a dumpster fire. It was just a dumpster fire. Over time, the game just atrophied away, and no one really expected there to be an Overwatch 2, because, well, who wanted to play a sequel to a game that effectively died off unceremoniously? However, on the next day, after this video is hopefully released, I'm trying to release this the day before, Overwatch 2 will be coming out, and by God, it's gonna suck. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you why Overwatch 2 is gonna be a dumpster fire. First of all, we have an issue where older players of the original Overwatch are gonna have an advantage, an unfair advantage, extremely unfair. So, the original Overwatch is going to be essentially consumed by Overwatch 2, and if you had player data from the original Overwatch, you get a lot of benefits in Overwatch 2. You get some new heroes first, and you also get to keep all of the heroes that you had from the original Overwatch game. I believe it was between 20 to 30 of them. You get to keep all of those characters. If you're a newcomer to Overwatch 2, however, you don't get to have those characters. You actually have to unlock them, which some developers say that this might take upwards of 100 matches, which is ridiculous, especially considering the fact that if you even booted up the first game for some period of time, you automatically get all of these characters. And this puts the older players at an unfair advantage over the newer players, where these older players likely have more experience already and they have a better roster of heroes going into it, whereas these newer players don't even have that roster of heroes and they have less experience. You're effectively going to set up a situation where veteran players get to absolutely smack newer players, and it's not going to be fun for the veteran players because no one likes a wipe, everyone likes a challenging game, and it's going to be horrible for the newer players because they aren't on the same playing field even in the characters that they get to have. It's extremely unfair. Speaking more to this unfairness though, we have the fact that Overwatch 2 is effectively going to be pay to win. So, instead of releasing characters like they used to in the last game where it was just automatically released for everyone, in Overwatch 2 characters are going to be locked behind the battle pass, which you're gonna have to play in order to actually get these characters to use, which is gonna be a bit of an issue considering the fact that battle passes actually kind of favor people who pay into the game a little more. If you have a premium battle pass, for example, chances are you're probably going to be able to unlock newer characters faster than those who have not paid into the game, which is a massive issue, again, because it effectively makes it a pay-to-win system. You get access to newer heroes, potentially better heroes, considering the fact that Overwatch and Blizzard as a company don't necessarily do good at hero balancing whenever a new one comes out. So, basically, if you don't pay, you're not going to have good characters. It's sad. It's sad. Now, off of that, I'm going to talk about exactly why you shouldn't even support Activision Blizzard as a company. So, Activision Blizzard is, of course, the parent company who creates the Overwatch franchise, and they've had some, let's just say, legal troubles in the past couple of months. Year or two, wherein they've been sued by the state of California for their just horrific work conditions at the place that has been described as a frat brother culture. Absolutely horrible, especially to the female employees at Overwatch, Activision Blizzard. The women at that organization have just been horribly mistreated, harassed, assaulted. It's just been horrific. One of the things that actually ties this into Overwatch is the character known as Cole Cassidy, who I'm going to flash up on screen right now. This character actually used to be named after one of the designers of Overwatch, one Jesse McCree, whose name I'm perfectly willing to say because this is a horrible person that does not deserve to, be able to keep anonymity, especially considering the fact that they're so high profile that they got a character in Overwatch named after them. This designer, Jesse McCree, was found out to be a part of the Cosby Suite, the suite in Overwatch event hotels for Blizzard employees, I guess you could say. Whenever an event happens, Blizzard devs and designers would go there and they would get hotel rooms. Well, this Jesse McCree was known to be a member of the apparent Cosby Suite, as you can see here pictured with this massive photo of Bill Cosby, which I don't even know how they got that, celebrating the man who was a convicted, horrible person, let's just put it like that. I believe his sentence, something happened with it. He was released out of prison, so I'm not going to say anything concrete in case I get sued or not, but let's just say he's had some allegations against him and he went to prison for a period of time over them. Let's just put it like that in case some things have updated on that case. But yeah, this is a pretty horrible thing. Activision Blizzard is not a company that is necessarily even very good to its workers, even outside of its player base. I don't get why anyone would want to give them money. I know personally I'm not going to give them money. I'm not going to play Overwatch 2. And I don't think you should either. The fact of the matter is, there is going to be a horrible, horrible, horrible bias in the game towards older players, which isn't going to attract a brand new audience. And then there's going to be a horrible, horrible, horrible bias towards those who can actually pay to win in the game. Since this isn't a cosmetic battle pass, this is going to be a battle pass that gives you access to better heroes. This isn't going to be good if you want to actually keep a healthy, happy, friendly audience. It's not going to be very good for you. As well as this, just from an ethical position, I don't necessarily think anyone should be monetarily supporting Activision Blizzard. They aren't a good company, they are a horrible company to their workers, and genuinely, if you choose to engage in Activision Blizzard's attempts to get people to buy Overwatch 2, if you buy it yourself, even if it is just to test it out, I'm gonna have to question you. It's not gonna be a good game, first of all. I've already laid that out. It's not gonna be a good game. Activision Blizzard has shown themselves to not be able to even upkeep a game, and it's already gonna be stilted from launch. It's not gonna be a good game from launch, and that's all you really need to know that you shouldn't buy it. It's, at this point, if you're gonna buy Overwatch 2, I suggest that you don't, because if I haven't convinced you here, with the issues in Activision Blizzard, generally, you aren't gonna get your money's worth. It isn't worth the money. Even if you were a previous Overwatch player, it just isn't going to be worth the money. Because you're going to have to grind too to get new heroes when you didn't have to previously. It's not fair. It's not fair. With that all being said, if you don't want to waste your money, don't get Overwatch 2. Don't support Activision Blizzard. Don't give them money to make a horrible game and to treat their workers horribly when you aren't even gonna get all that much from it. It's just gonna be Overwatch, but with some added story mode elements, which aren't gonna be very good because it's not like Overwatch lore was very good in the first place. Regardless, if you like what you heard here, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you can see whenever I upload. You can follow me on twitter.com in the description. My DMs are open always, and I'll try to check them. And again, if you want to see me cover anything in particular, make sure to place that in the comment section so I can get down to it. I will get down to it. Regardless, I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't buy Overwatch 2. It's not worth your money.